everyone, and welcome to MeowMix, the Carolina Panthers podcast. My name is Steven.
My name is Jerry.
And today we are returning to our draft profile series. We will be talking about Kyle Hamilton, a safety out of Notre Dame. Not just a safety, but a great safety.
A unicorn safety, as I've read that some scouts have actually called him a unicorn, that he is that good of a prospect coming out of college. Kyle Hamilton was ranked the number 10th best recruit by ESPN coming out of high school. He was heavily recruited coming out of Atlanta, Georgia. He ultimately decided to go to Notre Dame, where he spent his freshman season as a backup, but in 2020, he became the star and was named to the first team All-ACC that year, and in 2021, he continued his success and ended up a consensus All-American. Now, I found this little fun fact. His dad was a I can't speak today. He was a basketball player that was drafted in the 1988 NBA draft, but ended up playing professional basketball in Greece.
1988 NBA draft. Was it the first Hornets draft or was it 87? I think it was right around there.
Oh, you're asking the wrong person here.
That's a very interesting nugget there, Jerry. Kyle Hamilton is a big safety. Yeah. He is 6'4", 220. He's even played a little bigger than that at times, but he is, 6'4", that's a big safety. Just kind of looking at his stats here, he, I think, played 31 games total in his college career. I believe he had 6.5 total sacks or something in his college career. Had 8 interceptions. He had 1 touchdown. In 2021, I believe he only played 7 games. He had a knee injury that kept him out of most of the season. But 3 interceptions 2021 in 7 games is pretty great.
Again, kind of looking first team All-ACC that year.
Looking at his PFF grades, for those that care about that, he was in the high 70s all 3 years. Actually, his best year, PFF-wise, was 2019, his freshman year, where he had a 79.5. But those are all very good scores, and his stats may not pop out at you like some other guys that you see, but teams played around him. Teams would not throw into the area that he was.
Correct.
And that's why maybe some of his stats don't look amazing on paper. Or, they do look amazing, but they don't look like you just look at the stats and you don't think top 5 in the NFL draft. But watch his tape, because he's dominant. He shuts down the middle of the field.
Correct. And you said that his 2019 was best PFF. Well, he played a lot of deep safety that year. And then they started mixing him up in 2020, and then last year he played a lot of slot. I don't know the way the Notre Dame team is. I don't know if it was just because they had a gaping hole that he could fill in coverage compared to other guys. But he continued to play well. His combine got a knock, mostly because of his 4.59 on 40. A lot of scouts were not expecting that, but that was it. That was the only knock on him. Everything else, 38 vertical, 131 broad jump, 6.9 3-cone drill, and 4.32 in a 20-yard shuttle, which is very impressive, actually. But still, he'll have a chance.
And again, the 40, watch his tape. He's fast.
And that's all you need. That's all you need. He's fast as a safety. So...
he's fast. We got, you normally will look at the pros and cons. Again, guys that are going in the top 5 here, they don't have a ton of cons, but there's a couple with him. But we'll start off with the pros. Incredible football IQ. Again, watch his tape. He knows, he can diagnose plays very quickly. He's got great size. Again, matching up with linebackers in the NFL. I could see him sort of playing. You remember when we drafted Thomas Davis? We drafted Thomas Davis as a Mike Vick stopper, essentially, right? Well, I could see someone drafting Kyle
Hamilton
as a Kyle Pitts type stopper. These big new fast tight ends. How I love Kyle. I love Kyle Pitts. I hate that we didn't get him, but I love him as a player. But yeah, Travis Kelce. These really fast Darren Waller. These big guys. Excellent in zone coverage, and that's really again where he kind of takes off a lot of plays from the offense when they're in zone coverage. They just won't target the middle of the field where he is. He's excellent in run defense. Really, really good tackler. And again, he's just one of those high motor guys, doesn't give up on plays. He plays to the whistle, right? Is what they say. Plays through the whistle.
Correct.
Yeah.
You're not going he's the type of guy that you're not going to say, hey, is he taking this playoff? He's always playing hard. Now his cons, he does need to work on some of his man coverage, which he's a safety, and that's probably not the biggest deal. And he's not very quick. Yes, he's fast, but he doesn't have that quick twitch speed. And sometimes a receiver can make a quick move on him, and he gets a little beat a little bit. But again, a little bit.
And again, he's a safety, right? He's not that safeties typically aren't playing man on man with X receivers, with outside receivers. And his IQ kind of makes up for his lack of quickness. Like he sort of knows what's happening, so he can get there before the receiver. Another pro, just going back real quickly, is he's very versatile. He plays the two different safety spots. He can also play some linebacker, and he played a good bit of linebacker at Notre Dame. And for a moment there, I wondered if he could be like a Thomas Davis, where Thomas Davis was a safety in college and came into the NFL, and the Panthers said, "Hey, we're playing you at linebacker. You're going to be a linebacker in the NFL." He's bigger than Thomas Davis height wise. He's not as stout as Thomas Davis. So I don't think that he's going to play a lot of linebacker in the NFL, but he does have the ability.
See, you keep bringing back Thomas Davis. We have a player that matches him nearly identical already on this team.
I'm not saying, not saying that he's that we're going to draft him and do that. I'm just saying, other teams don't have Jeremy Chins.
Yeah, but I'm just saying Jeremy Chin is 6'3", 220.
Yeah.
Kyle Hamilton is 6'4", 220.
Yeah.
Now, I do think Kyle Hamilton's coverage skills are better than Jeremy Chin's, especially coming out of college. That being said, they're very, very similar.
Yeah.
And I think if the Panthers draft him, that would be crazy type of aspect.
That'd be a good combination.
Yeah, where you could easily drop one in the box, drop one up high. You can have them both drop up back, or both rush the passer. I mean, you could give a lot of mismatches and a lot of quarterbacks fits of not knowing where anybody's going to be. So,
well, that discussion kind of goes into our first question here: is does this player fit the current roster? Now, we do have Jeremy Chin at safety. We picked up Woods as our other safety. We just re-signed Justin Burris today, for depth at safety. We got Kenny Robinson. So again, Kyle Hamilton is better than everybody on the roster. You could make the argument of Jeremy Chin just because he's been in the league for a couple of years now, but he would immediately elevate the defense.
Oh yeah.
Right. I mean, does he fit on the roster? Yeah, you would take that guy if you had the opportunity every day.
He's a playmaker. A lot of scouts are saying he's the best player in the draft. So, yes, does he fit this roster? Yes, because anytime you add one of the best potential players of all time, you add him.
That's high praise, but yeah, I mean, easily
at that position,
one of the most talented rosters in the draft, or one of the most talented safeties in the draft, the most talented safety in the draft. Not, safety, not a position of need really for the Panthers right now. But let's say, does he fall to the Panthers at 6? Do you think he falls to 6?
No,
I don't think he falls to 6 either. I think he's a top 5 guy, maybe a top 3 guy.
Yeah. I think some things would really have to get shaken up if he fell to 6.
I'll tell you how it happens.
Oh yeah, I do
right?
too.
Is two teams trade ahead of the Panthers to get quarterbacks, Pickett and Willis, and two left tackles go early. And then you've got a defensive end that's really high up there. You've got another left tackle that's really high up there. I mean, it could happen. Very unlikely that he
Hmm.
gets to the Panthers at 6. Now, if he gets to the Panthers at 6, would you want them to draft him with all the other needs that we have?
At this current time, the current time where I'm looking
At
at our roster
8:48 p.m.
with who we
on
signed,
Thursday.
I would say no because we still have too much of a glaring hole at left tackle and quarterback. Now, if things change before the draft and we pick him, I could still easily be excited for him. Say they make a trade or go, a quarterback, go sign one Dwayne Brown or another left tackle, a solid left tackle, not a Cam Irving type of left tackle.
Sure.
Then I then I would be excited because I see what they were doing at that point. But right now with the holes right now, no.
Let me lay out this scenario for you. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
3 left tackles and 2 quarterbacks are the top 5 picks. Kyle Hamilton is there at number 6, and not really any LTs left that you figure are top 10 LTs. Definitely not any quarterbacks left that you would want to take at number 6. At that point, I'm excited to take Kyle Hamilton at that point, personally, just because of what he would do for our defense.
I get that. I understand that. I think if no one's calling, which would be very rare, to trade up, yes, you take the best player on the board.
Yeah.
And hopefully,
I mean, he by far would be best player available at that in that scenario.
Correct.
Yeah.
Because then you're the top 3 left tackles who we haven't talked about Cross yet, but Neal and Edwonu would be gone. So
close. You almost got it.
Icky. We'll just call him Icky.
Yeah, we'll call him Icky. Yeah.
So, yeah, I get that. But I'm not gonna lie. After watching Malik Willis's pro day, he raised up in my heart, and he's not. I think he's going to be the first quarterback off the board. I think someone's going to jump over us.
Yeah,
to get him.
I'm thinking that might be the case. It does seem like his draft stock has kind of skyrocketed. He didn't run the 40, which I thought was a little interesting, but I mean, you again watch his tape; he's ridiculously fast. So, all right. Where does he fall on the MeowMix Big Board? So let me recap the big board for everyone. Number 1, we have Evan Neal, OT. Number 2, we have Icky, OT out of NC State. Number 3, we have Tyler Lindenbaum, center out of Iowa. Number 4, we have Kenny Pickett. Number 5, we have Malik Willis. Now, Jerry, should we update this?
I was gonna say, since we have signed some free agency, I think we've need
signed some free agents. We've seen some pro days. We've seen some combine. Maybe we go ahead and just kind of look at this overall. Now Evan and Icky prior to Kenny Hamilton, I think we leave it at 1 and 2. I'm okay moving Malik Willis up to 3 ahead of Kenny Pickett.
I agree with that.
Okay.
And what about Tyler Lindenbaum ahead of him too?
I would put Kenny Pickett ahead of Lindenbaum. Personally.
I would too.
Just for the Panthers, because we've signed a good
Bozeman.
center in free agency who seems really excited to be here, by the way. So this is kind of like a Micah Parsons situation from last year where we kept moving him down because the Panthers just didn't have the desperate need. Now, for me, Kyle Hamilton. All right, so let me recap again. So Evan Neal, Icky, Malik Willis, Pickett, Lindenbaum. That's now our top 5. For me, I would put Kyle Hamilton probably at 4 above Pickett. What are your thoughts on that?
You're really scared of those small hands.
You know what? His pro day was really good. Pickett, his pro day was really good. I've just never been a big fan of his.
I would put, and this is mostly because we desperately need a quarterback. I would put Kenny Pickett ahead of Kyle Hamilton.
I'm fine with that. I'm not going to fight that.
I like Kenny Hamilton or Kenny. I'm just mixing them.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking the same.
I like Kenny Pickett a lot. I do think his small hands do worry me, and Malik Willis. Malik Willis just has that superstar like ability.
He's got the superstar upside,
and then his leadership. I think that's what really impressed me about his pro day. Is if you watch him, he's playing around with guys. He reminds me a lot of Cam Newton in that way, where he seems to lift up the spirits of other players. I read an article about his pro day where the only missed throw was a receiver who dropped the ball. And as soon as he came back there, he tapped him on the head. He was like, oh, don't worry about it. Just raising up another player instead of making it about himself.
Yeah, I agreed. I'm a lot higher on Willis than I was when we did our initial profile on him and Pickett as well. Honestly, I'm higher on both of them. But Pickett, to me, is just – I think as Willis is 1, and then Pickett is like you got to go down a few tiers to get to him at 2. And then Corral had his pro day, yesterday? So we'll talk about him coming up soon as well.
Next week, he's our next draft profile.
Okay, he's our next. So there you go. Spoiler alert. But yeah, just final thoughts on Kyle Hamilton. If we ended up with him, I'd be extremely excited. Just not a massive need for the Panthers.
Exactly. Great player. Will be a great NFL player, I expect. Just dominoes aren't falling in the line for us to draft him.
Yeah, and if Willis and Pickett aren't there, and really those top 2 or 3 OTs aren't there, then I would be thrilled to get him at 6.
Yeah. All right, we want to thank everyone for listening. If you like the show, please let your friends know. Please follow us on Twitter at MeowMix Podcast. If you have any questions or comments, you can email us at mailbag@meowmixpodcast.com. And if you leave us a 5-star review with a comment on Apple Podcasts, we'll read it on our show. Our next draft profile will take a look at Ole Miss quarterback Matt Corral.
Until then, everyone, stay safe out there and keep pounding.